CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
Austin basically popped in the chat and told us all we're fucked.
We basically need like a dark web network.
Okay, this is like baby's first terrorism, right?
Using the big murder board, he kind of goes in and starts trying to track them back from the party.
I'm going to create an app that starts to slowly delete my own existence from all DFS records.
All right, well, speaking of which, that brings us back around to winter. What would you like to do for your last free downtime? Do you just want to finish off your clock?
I actually have 2 more free because I've...
Oh, do you have another one from a playbook ability?
Yeah, it's my Spark ability. If I didn't use it previously, which I didn't, I can use it now.
You may spend your Spark to have it and say, use an additional downtime activity. Cool. Well, then I'll give you...
Yeah, that's me.
I'll give you another token here. For your third downtime activity, what would you like to do? Do you want to finish off your project? Or?
Yeah, let's just finish that.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And this can just be me. It'll just be connecting the dots.
Yeah, we'll hand wave that one. All right, so now you've established those you've connected those teams that you've set up to each other, and that's going to give you one more tick on your drive clock, which I think gives you 1 full clock as well.
Yes.
So we now have 3 clocks between the team. Calico, do you want to cut loose, buddy?
Calico does indeed want to cut loose.
Tell me how that...
Oh, why haven't you been talking in the third person this whole time?
How does Calico cut loose?
I've got kind of 2 cut looses that I'm interested in, so I'll see about the rest of the party.
Ooh.
There's an opportunity here to sort of wrap up the arc that Calico and Edrian have been on, especially considering the events of the previous mission.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could get in a scene with Winter because I have not done that yet, and the sort of state of Winter's being has changed as of the result of last mission, so I'm okay with either of those. I don't know if anyone is interested in seeing one of those in particular.
I'm very happy with either. We have had 1 downtime. Remember when we were shooting like some kind of varmint?
Yeah, but I think I was brought along to your cut loose. I haven't brought you to a cut loose yet.
Yes. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. At least we've had at least 1 cut loose.
That we have, yeah. Sorry, I was talking from my perspective. It's kind of funny to me to have Calico just being like hardcore ignoring Edrian.
I feel like we've kind of beefed a little bit.
We have. There's so much between us where it's like if the other one was just on my side about everything, things would be fine. But
yeah. There's definitely some beefing happening.
I feel like that's like the relationship that all of us have with each other.
It's mainly Calico beefing with everybody.
I was about to say, doesn't Calico kind of have beef with Koa too?
Yeah, Winter's really the only one they don't have like actual beef with.
Calico is the abattoir of the group.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because of the beef. Okay.
What?
What does Calico, that mean? What?
It's a butchery.
Yeah, abattoir is where you put... Anyway.
Oh.
So I'm taking a look at my beliefs. And for Edrian, I have Edrian and I could find solace in one another being swallowed by this empire, but we are just too different.
Mm-hmm.
And Weaver is more interested in setting up the dominoes than knocking them down. But for Winter, I have Winter sees all the angles, but they never think far enough ahead. And Koa will let us die to save his daughter. I have seen it, and I will fend for myself around him. And Koa's cheerful disposition will not save them from their fate.
Oh, I would be, you know, it'd be really interesting, actually, if you and I have a downtime and we talk about Koa.
Yeah, I think I would like to have a downtime with Winter, and part of it will be talking about the others.
Okay.
Because Calico's just messy.
Are y'all just like hanging out in the cafeteria? Are you?
I think I've roped Winter, or one or more of Winter's bodies into helping me with my murder board, which has now taken over the classroom itself.
Sure.
It's no longer just like on the board, like it's gotten bigger. There's all sorts of little red string running here and there. There's all sorts of little miniatures that have been placed up in various places, and Calico is just like clearly... I think there's an element of Calico could hold all of this in his head. Why is he making a physical murder board?
Mm-hmm.
Has to be to show someone.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
to show someone. And I think Winter is the person he wants to show it to right now, to be like...
Are we all there? Are all my bodies there?
However many you have...
Did you invite a couple?
I think I invited Winter as an entity, so it could be any...
Okay. Who did you
or
talk
all.
to, though? Which body do you think?
The
Because
one...
you know one specifically, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which instance I know. Was it the big
I'm
woman?
pretty sure it's the coolest one. I mean, not my favorite, but the fan favorite. And by fan favorite, I mean you guys. Because we don't have fans yet.
I think it's body 3, right?
Yes, 3 is the one you know. And it's
3's
also
the one
everybody's
that we face
favorite
cast
of
as
the crew.
Gwendolyn Christie, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how many of your bodies are you bringing?
So that's probably the one you approach, right?
Yeah, that's
So
the
how
one I
many-
approach.
How many would you be comfortable with being in the room? Are there like specific ones that you...
Yeah, is the room big enough to hold all 8 of them?
Well, one is just an arm, so it would be 7. Think of it as 7.
Sorry, one is an arm. I think if, body 3 is like, how many of us are you comfortable? How many of us are you comfortable having there? I think Calico's just like...
How many
all
eyes
of
you
them.
want on this? I think it would be how they would phrase it, but yeah.
Calico's just like, all of them? All of you?
All right. We're all there then. We're there.
The room is very cramped. And this is I think this is a kind of weird cut loose because I don't know that it's cutting loose, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're relieving stress. That's what's important.
Yeah.
I think it's just Calico like has to show this to someone else and is like, I've been working on this for weeks now. I tried to triangulate the position of all of the super weapons we were encountering. I knew something was happening, but I couldn't prove it. And now we have proof, but it's too late. So I missed something. You see more angles than I do.
Yes.
And I think Calico like takes a step back and is like, can you tell me what I missed?
Yeah. I think it looks like the 7/8 of us gathering around your murder board, looking at it and like looking at each other. Like we look like we're having a conversation, in as far as like body language and mannerisms go, but there's no words being spoken out loud because the thoughts are just melding. And occasionally we'll be like, oh, yeah. And like, we'll say something to you, like when we figure something out, right? Like you don't have to hear all our like back and forth because it's like finishing each other's sentences, but on like such like a heightened degree that like it would be like practically meaningless to you. I don't know if you know about this phenomenon that happens like when like as twins grow up together, they develop like an asynchronous language like with each other. I mean, not asynchronous with each other, but like asynchronous with like the society and like language group that they grew up in. And normally that fades away unless like they're in some kind of abusive situation, honestly. Like then it sticks and then we study it. But I think that like is happening within winter. And so then occasionally they're like, oh, holy shit, like you can't hear us. And then they like bring you in to like what they're starting to figure out. But it's all of them. They're like gesturing at each other and they are like acknowledging each other like one body at a time. Because even though we like share one mind, each body has its own built-in like physical memory, which approaches things slightly different and like sorts things slightly differently. And even though that eventually gets filtered into like our like singular consciousness, yeah, that's like not an immediate process. So while we're like figuring out things together, it looks like a conversation without words. And then like we will speak up and clue you in on those things as well.
Okay.
Cool.
Where do we land on? How does this end up being a cut loose for us?
Well, you had mentioned you wanted to talk about the others, so maybe we hear a little bit of what that conversation sounds like.
Yeah, I would love for you to start that
okay.
The what about kind of a question.
So we end up kind of discussing all of these things, and we see there's news updates like reels running in the background, and we get shots of this enormous Avi that is stomping around in the background, right? And, Calico kind of moving little pieces around and is like, I've missed things before. I don't think I can risk missing them again. Because with what's coming up...
I think you get like a synchronized nod from all of us, which doesn't happen very often. We don't synchronize like that very often. But in this like one moment, you get like one singular nod from, well, all seven. The arm doesn't nod.
Yeah, I think Calico kind of takes that in. Is like, if we're going to make it out of this, if we're going to save as many people as possible, I don't think we can rely on Adrian and Koa.
I don't know how this works mechanically, but I'm going to say it out loud anyway. I think we invite you in to us.
Is that maybe that's what this is? I don't think we can rely on Adrian and Koa. They are too focused on themselves, or their in Koa's case, his daughter. Adrian's too focused
or
on
even our safety, like as a found family kind of a thing. It's like that's not important to me at all.
And if we, I can see far ahead, you can see all the angles. So we can do this together. And if you invite Calico in, is this like your multiple consciousnesses and my algorithm kind of coming together and we just fucking brain blast it?
Well, I want you to become part of my collective.
I don't think Calico's like, I can't become part of your collective. I don't think that would.
Okay.
It's not.
I think I invite
me.
you to that, but I'm like, all our minds could work together.
Right. I can't become part of you.
To me, this and I don't want to pass this off as like a small thing. This isn't like a thing I offer,
Yeah.
Because for me, everybody who is part of Winter's Pledge right now has always been part of Winter's Pledge. The Deus Ex Machina, we know where each other are, and that's like a certain kind of entanglement.
Yeah, but you're not part of the same hive.
Right. We've never brought somebody who's actually outside of our hive into it. And so this invitation, I don't want it to feel like it's like offhanded.
Right. This is something really meaningful.
I think it feels like we've been talking about this like maybe all night or something like that about like your murder board, your theories. You're like, this is how we didn't stop this. This is how we can stop this. These are the ways that like our current team can't handle this. And so I think after that, I want to say like we've been at this for like 12 hours, maybe 3 days, like it's been a while, right? Because this isn't like a short-term thing, right? Like I think we invest as Winter's Pledge. I mean, we invest in the thing that you've presented to us. And we're like, wow, you've done work, like we wish that you had shown this to us sooner, but we understand why you didn't. Would you consider joining us? The level that we communicate with each other is unsurpassed. And we know this is, we've never asked anybody to do this before, so we don't really know how to do it. But if you would like to combine your foresight with our many eyes, as you put it, we would love to have you as part of us.
I think for Calico, Calico already lost a huge portion of their identity in that they are kind of a space refugee and is holding on to the very last of it through the gate. There are two things for me, and it's I don't think Calico would agree to be part of Winter's Pledge. I don't think that's something that they want. Yeah. And I'll have to figure out how they respond to that exactly. The idea of dipping into that pond so that Winter's Pledge has access to the things in Calico's brain for a short amount of time is interesting to Calico. But the other thing is what happens when a hive meets a forewarned.
Right.
It sounds very dangerous.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
What happens when you plug in a supercomputer to another supercomputer?
Right, that are doing different things. Right.
The processing power of our brains would be unimaginable. And that has terrifying consequences.
Well, it's like your forewarnness plugging into 8 minds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we see from different angles, like you said, but you see the future. But like, what if that future processing power, like you're seeing like weird fucking shit, like new omens, like 2 identical people, the cry of a hawk, the purple sun casting along terrifying shadows, like that shit. Like, what if that's processed through 8 brains? Like what if it no longer was cryptic?
Yeah,
that's kind of like that's like the option you're being presented. That's like the not option. Option is a shitty word for this, but like that's like the path, right? Like that's like all these weird fucking omens and things that you like see. All these like turn of the cards that like you're not quite sure what they mean. We can like all of us together can know what they mean. So
I do think that what Lauren's pushing for here for the scene is like a temporary union of these two entities.
Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to expose the stakes.
I think the question here is, do we try it? Do we try and see what it's like to link us up just temporarily? Or is that a kind of violation of what both sides are asking for here? Which is fine. And I think like this is the conversation we have. This is how we put trust in each other going forward. And either way, we walk away from this having done our cut loose as we've spent 3 days going over my murder board together.
Absolutely.
But do we, I mean, you know what? Maybe we don't know what happens behind that door.
Ooh.
And we can figure that out later.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a potential,
like a flashback. We could just have
like
set up a flashback.
Yeah, we can call back once we decide what we want to finalize the scene as. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I
like that a lot. We fade to black here.
All right, well then, so we'll fade out on that, but let's find out how much stress this resolved for you, Calico. And you're going to roll... Well, you have to roll 1d6, and I guess you have to replace it with a 3 from your prediction pool. So go ahead and subtract 3 stress.
Yep. Not great. But
that's great. You get to go in having 5 stress.
Yeah.
Which many people say is the ideal amount of stress to start a mission with.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
I
Many
will
times.
come up with a new belief about Winter's Pledge.
Yes. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to kick. It sounds like whatever you did didn't relieve very much stress. We can say that much.
No, it was not very stress relieving.
It was a
Calico's
middling
been in this state
amount.
for like 3 missions now.
That's not a good sign for
poor
our
guy.
mission.
Koa, what's happening over here with you? Are you going to finish off your clock, or do you need to cut loose?
I do need to cut loose because I'm at 6 stress.
Yikes.
So...
With whom are you cutting loose?
I mean, I'm already with Adrian because like in the last scene we were at the parole officer. So I think I guess on the way back,
Yeah.
Devin, how does Adrian feel about just outright abandoning is too strong of a word, but just leaving without a trace? Is there any conflict in that whatsoever?
There's conflict in it. And that's going to be sort of the emotional stakes probably for the outro of this story.
I think we have, for the audience, I think we kind of have, a pseudo goodbye. In the sense where Koa doesn't know that it's a goodbye. He just thinks it's, a nice treat after they see the parole officer.
Yeah. Be go out for lunch or something.
Yeah. And it's we...
Big robot stomping in the distance.
Yeah.
There's, a cafe. We order, very fancy amalgamations of the prison food that we used to eat together as a joke. There's something very touching and very one-sided about this scene.
Adrian knows that this is maybe the last time that they're gonna get a meal with Koa, but Koa has no idea.
Exactly.
Okay. Adrian, how you feel about that?
I'm good.
Okay.
I probably do say some cryptic shit. It seems like you've really been able to build something for your own,
Try and get a few casual death flags in there for the
kind of almost trying to convince themselves too that Koa's gonna be fine on their own.
Oh.
Yeah, what does that sound like? Give me a couple of those.
I don't know, because what my whole deal is. Have you ever considered that this might be a possibility that I would just disappear? No,
never. It's not that Koa never took the time to think about it. It's just it never crossed his mind. And you've been a pretty constant person in his life, right?
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't register because you think, Adrian's always going to be with me.
Oh wow, that hurts.
I gotta go die on my home planet,
Die on your home planet, the heroic way or the Poochie way?
What the heck is a Poochie?
Oh, thank you, Lauren.
Like a dog?
Thank you, Lauren.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It was in The Simpsons when they had the Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie show, and they wrote off Poochie, and he's like, "I'm going home, back to my home planet." And then the epilogue is Poochie died on the way back home to his planet. To just write him out of the show.
I mean, who could say what happens? But yeah, the heroic way. Adrian believes that they're on the wrong front of this war.
This war. I see.
As do we all.
So I just think it's
I mean,
very
you don't want
much
to defect to CalazCon because you hate those mofos and the Jovangelians. I would assume you also hate.
No, yeah, not between those two suckers.
No, I want to. I'm living for a free Dekrabia.
I see.
Yeah, but I also think it's very much and the next week, we have to, you got to come shopping with us, so we got to get Adelaide new dresses. I'm assuming that this is since this is the finale, that their finals are coming up, or it's the end of the school year. Or something
let's say
that,
it's
right?
the end of the school. Yeah, it's finals.
Yeah.
We're coming up on finals week. Sure.
I'm talking about Adelaide's final project in the coding class, and I'm like, man, she could replace me.
Yeah, and I'm but she could have never done this without you, and your and she appreciated your guidance so much. And I'm just gonna twist the knife right now. And then you remember all the photos, all the drawings that she had for the parole officer?
Uh-huh.
There's one that she put in like a special envelope with like glitter and like stickers and all that stuff. And like somehow like she also like on this like plain envelope, like there's like an encryption code that you're going to need to break for it.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, well, Adelaide actually made this for you. Like she told me to tell you to just open it up later and that you'll know the time to do it. I don't know what she talks about a lot, but here you go.
I feel like I did a similar thing where I gave her like a big puzzle box to like decode, and it's like it'll be like a sorry like letter. I had to do this.
But
I
like,
had to leave.
but she already anticipated it, so she gave you one also.
So she knows, and
I don't. Oh God, so good.
Yeah, she's like emotionally mature enough to like. Understand.
Oh yeah, I'm just the dad idiot over here trying to keep her alive.
Oh my God.
Goddamn dads.
This is so funny. Okay, I got it. Let's roll the dice for this one. This is beautiful.
I'm sorry, it's a fortune roll? No.
Yes, but you're using your current connection with Adrian. So you would roll one. Actually, it looks like you would roll 2d6 because you have a second belief.
Yes. Okay, so I do have something for this as well for cutting loose.
Oh, what is that?
When you cut loose, you may adjust your dice outcome by 1 or 2 up or down. The pilot you cut loose with heals 1 stress as well, which cannot cause them to overindulge.
Okay. I don't think Adrian has any stress, but that's good to know. Yeah, functioning vice is really good.
Oh, I got a 6.
Okay.
Technically, can't I bump that other 5 to a 6 and I critical it?
Sure, but you only have 6 stress.
So nothing else good happens?
No, I don't think so. Let me check. I'll double check. Okay. I'll double check. Cut loose. I don't even think. Yeah, there is no critical on a cut loose. 6 is just the cap.
Great.
So
awesome. So I'm not going to be stressed out for this one. The complete opposite.
That was a very not stressful situation.
Well, not stressful for me. I think. I think Adrian took 2 stress just lying to his friend, lying to their friend.
Yeah, but Adrian got 1 stress from that, but then got it back from functioning vice. So
why do I don't roll stress? That
was a joke. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
that was a bit we were doing.
That was the bit.
It was not serious.
We were bidding.
Okay. Speaking of Adrian, what do you want to do? You got a free downtime activity here, and
there's nothing for me to mechanically do, so I'm just like doing narrative clocks, I guess.
Sure. You could help Koa finish off that LTP.
Or me.
Where are they at on that?
They're at 3 of 4.
3 of 4.
For the find something worth stealing.
Sorry, I was on mute. I just need 1 more tick.
No, I trust Koa can handle that. That's what we just talked about. I'm going to do another long-term project.
Okay. What is this one?
This one is to secure, basically after this last operation, is to secure passage for me and my mech on a transport vehicle back to Carabia.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make that another 4-step clock. You want to book passage home, right?
Yes.
That's easy enough.
Holy shit, can I help you?
Yeah, can Winter help you?
That's like my whole thing.
Only if you could help me in a way that didn't involve me telling you what I was doing.
Yeah, I can. Because I'm creating this whole network of people that know that want to help people get home.
Oh yeah, you
can utilize the network without telling Winter that you're doing so, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But that would mechanically still be Winter helping you. That's pretty good. I like that.
Cool. And I think this is interface. I think this is just me looking at all of the transport schedules and their times and their routes and finding a way to kind of sneakily get out of here. I guess study would work too.
I was going to say, actually, it sounds more like study to me.
I believe my study and my interface are the same, so I don't think it matters.
Your study is
2
my
study's
and your
1
interface
less.
is 3.
Okay, yeah. But with the help, that puts me at 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
5. So that's 2 ticks, right?
5's good.
5 is good. 5 is 2 ticks.
Cool, I'll take that.
So is Edrian planning on being around for the last battle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm setting up the timeline to be like right after we finish our last operation.
Right.
Gotcha.
So whatever like finale thing we do, we'll.
Yeah. All right. That's the last of the free ones except for Winter's bonus one from their Spark. So Winter, what would you like to do with your last
Neat.
free?
I filled up my last clock, right? So I need
did.
to do another one.
You could create another one. Again, you also have the option of contributing to COAs.
I still have to come up with 3 more clocks? Fuck. What else needs done? I mean, I basically did everything. Like, narratively. I just need to figure out other stuff that should happen. You know what it is? It's like securing resources. So now I have networking is going well. People are talking to each other. Now I need to like secure actual resources like vehicles to move people.
Absolutely.
And like, well, I think that's the next part. And then like maybe a part after that would be like safe houses to keep them in that like aren't actual people's houses. But the next thing is just like actually moving people. So resources for moving.
Okay, so you want to secure resources for this network that you've set up, this little underground.
Yeah,
network.
I mean, and by resources, I really, really mean like transportation. You know,
Yeah,
like
okay.
it's like ships.
Well,
for,
I
like,
think
plant.
we can make it as broad as it needs to be in order to fill the clock. I think this is going to be another 6-stepper.
That's true. I just have like it looks like I have to like fill 3 more clocks, so I'm trying to like make it as like resources is like broad enough that like it feels like that's all I actually need.
If you want to have 2 full drive clocks, you will have to fill 3 long-term projects or something like that, or fill 2 and then do something during the mission to get that 3rd tick. That said, again, your drive needs 3 full clocks in order to be fulfilled. Because it affects more than just you.
I'm willing to give Calico's drive clock up to anyone who needs it.
Right.
As I think Calico has lost
the thread.
Track of a lot of things.
Yeah. Poor Calico.
Just in general.
I think, I mean, I don't mean to be like self-righteous, but I feel like mine is a very important one.
Wow.
If you care about the safety of innocence.
Right, and Calico very much does.
No pressure.
I don't want to be self-righteous, they say, self-righteously.
The thing is, Calico very much does, and one of the big things with Calico has been trying to prevent all of this shit from happening.
Yeah.
Trying to prevent what happened to his people from happening again. And
right, that's what I'm trying to do.
That was one of the ways in which Calico was kind of stuck, not stuck, but like attached to Edrian, was like, I don't want what happened to my people to happen to Edrian's people.
Right.
And so...
Right, and my plan isn't like an ideal version for Edrian's people, but it's like a pretty good plan B. Okay.
Sorry, so Winter, what are you doing to take the first steps to secure these resources, including things like transportation and food?
Well, so the resource is specifically, very, very specifically, rather than like all resources, it's transportation, right? It's getting a hold of like ships that can move people from place to place.
You just want to get ships, then I'm only going to make this a 4-step clock.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, right? Like that's the next thing is like, we need to be able to get people out of places where they're in danger to places where they're in less danger at the very least. And then we can figure out housing, like some people are like, it's a short ride from one to another.
Mm-hmm. Materially, what are you doing to advance that?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the network, right? Like some people have resources, some people don't. And so it's like convincing them to like give up their resources. It's like, hey, like you have more, these people have less.
So you're doing a sway?
Yeah, it's a sway again.
Could also be consort. It's up, I mean, it's kind of,
I think it is consort because that's like really what the bottom line of all this is. It's about like, what if these were your kids? Like what if these were your family members?
That sounds like you're trying to persuade someone with social pressure, which is a thing it calls out as sway might be better.
Okay.
But it also says you could try to persuade someone with social pressure. If this weren't a fortune roll, I would be giving you limited effect here, but because it is, it doesn't really matter. And you probably want to take consort mechanically to have the extra die. So
I do. I mean, I really think it is like these are happening at like
sure
in people's homes. You know, it's like over tea or wine or, you know, whiskey or whatever the fuck. You know, like it's like you signed up for this network.
Yeah. Is anyone?
And that's how I know where you are and who you are. You know,
anyone helping you, Winter?
What does Winter need for help here specifically?
With Calico, I think it has to do with like your vision of the future, right? You're like, this is how things seem to be going. And the people who are safe now may not be safe for very much longer.
Right. If this is the case, you know, what do you need Calico to do? Like specifically, is there a
come
course
with me
of action?
to home?
Just come with you.
Yeah. Come with me.
Yeah,
talk to people.
Calico will do that and talk.
These are like small group like gatherings in homes, right? Like this is a very like grassroots movement.
Okay, then yeah, I think Calico, you know, would do that. Give people try and give people not closure, but like sense of confidence by doing his like computer brain tarot readings for them, you know, showing them the possibilities of the paths they could walk down and how this will benefit them.
Like a combo of like confidence and urgency, right? Like do it now and it will go okay. You know, like if you fucking wait, it's going to be too late, you know, like kind of a thing.
I'm all down for that.
Okay, so let's get that roll. Give me 3d6. That's a 5. Okay. So that's going to give you 2 ticks. All right. We are now out of free actions. Anything else has to be paid for. One other thing, and I know that it's now way long past this, but one other thing, Koa, that would have been in favor of just spending the material at the time is that even though you are going to automatically succeed, if you take a third action in practicing in Plaza, we will roll a third time on table G. So,
oh, dang it.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, we can't backtrack.
No, it's way too far now.
we can't do it.
So, anyone want to buy an action? Or we've got 3 clocks that are almost full for long-term projects.
I do.
I want to, yeah.
Well, I definitely want to finish my clock.
All right, let's start with Koa. What would you like to do here, Koa?
I'm using that personnel in order to finish the drive clock.
Okay, we're just going to move that forward to save a little time here, but let's find out what your what your third entanglement is.
We still have a 3 left over, right?
We do. You're taking a 3 from Calico's pool, and then you roll 1 die.
It's a 1. So
that's
1 and
good.
3.
So it's a 3.
It's a 3.
Here you go. You're gonna love this one, JPG.
Number
3, desperate civilians beg you to escort them out of Goliath's range. You can either escort them out and take -2 trust with the DFS as you go off task. You may spend 3 supply points to give them what they need to escape on their own, or you can refuse and take -1 status with the Hive. Not Winter's Pledge, but the squad called the Hive, which is a Jovangelian squad that actually you guys have a +1 relationship with because your very first mission was escorting Hive civilians from an area that was caught in the crossfire between DFS and Calazar forces.
If it's -2 to the DFS, how bad does that screw us?
That would take you from a +1 relationship with your patron faction to a -1 relationship with your patron faction.
Also, just as a note, because I was just reading this, that +1, we can burn that +1 to fill a segment on a drive clock.
Oh, where's this? On drives? Oh, you're
drives,
right.
Yeah. That is a thing that we can do. So if somebody wants to burn that for a drive clock, getting rid of it now is maybe not the best idea.
That's true.
I don't know the order of operations and how that's all going to break down.
Could somebody burn it before I do this?
It just says call in favors from your patron faction. Your relationship must be at least +1. You may add 1 tick at the cost of lowering your squad's relationship with your patron faction by 1. You could just do this, it seems, at any time.
Just whenever. Yeah. You can also, let's see here. You don't have +3 with any of the squads. No, you sure don't. You can. Yeah, I do think you can do that at any time, basically.
So does anybody want to fill a drive clock before?
Well, then that would take, if you spent it first, and then take that consequence, you'd be bringing yourself down to a -2 trust with your patron faction at the very last moment, which
but aren't half of us trying to fucking bail and run away anyways?
I get it.
Is this the breaking point for Koa? Like, because we've been making the joke about, like, baby's first terrorism, right? Like, is this the breaking point where people in need come to him and now it's...
I think it's better if you are going to take the -2 if you don't call in your favors first, because it's a spur of the moment thing. And, like, y'all did, y'all waited, right? Like, I don't know. It seems more fitting for it to be meaningful. But
I'm taking it. Yeah. I have to help these people. I have to. Like that, like if I don't, like I feel like that's not playing the character that I've set up all these past episodes. I have to help these people.
Yeah. Does anyone want to like sneak in there and like call in favors, like off screen simultaneously, or do we want to let it ride?
What is the drive clock that you have to fill right now, JPG? What is that? What is your goal?
It was to find something to steal so we could ensure our safety after this.
And you did find some valuable doohickey to steal, but I'm going to make that up later.
Okay.
Right. So, because you want to find, a home for your found family and all that jazz. I mean, if you... I don't know if this is in the spirit of things or not.
Dismissive, Lauren.
Sorry, no, what I mean is, like, I don't know if this is in the spirit of things or not, but, like, what if this is, hey, DFS, we got some civilians, I'm just gonna borrow a couple trucks real quick, and you steal a bunch of trucks, get the civilians out, and it's like, okay, you called in the favors with the drive clock to get those trucks, and then knocked yourself down to a -2, because, like, you not only did you go off task, you then also stole requisitioned goods.
Okay, you're just...
But again,
like,
I don't
did you
know
read
if
my
that's...
diary? Like,
I don't think... I feel
spirit.
like that's just losing 2 without... Because that's not applying it to the drive, right? Because if anything, it feels like it's taking away from the drive, because he's, like, making their opinion of Blue Sky worse. Like, that's going to make it even easier for them to justify putting you all on a most wanted list after this instead of pardoning you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I was just coming at it from a different angle, and again, just trying to really game the system to the benefit of the other people here.
I agree.
I think Calico's kind of locked into a death spiral at this point.
100%.
And I want to see everyone else get out.
I think it's more keeping in the spirit of the game if you go from +1 to -1, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. All right. So that happened. You do have that going on now, I guess. Cool. Adrian, do you want to buy another downtime action?
I do.
Okay. What kind of downtime action?
I am going to finish my other long-term project to secure passage.
Let's hope so.
So
right?
I think through studying all of the logistical charts and using Winter's network, I was able to find a good ship that would work for me. And now I'm just going to hack into the manifest and make sure that I can board it without having to do anything.
This will be an interface roll?
Yeah.
All right, give me 3d6.
4. That's what I needed.
That'll do it. That'll get you 2. Okay. Nice. Okay, go ahead and take your drive.
I'm out.
So now you have slightly more than 1 drive clock, but still basically just 1 that you can spend for stuff. Winter, would you like to buy a thingy?
Yeah, how'd you know?
To try and finish your secure transport ships? Just a hunch. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What's your next step in securing these transport ships?
Yeah, knowing where they are.
Okay.
Some are bought by rich people. Some are, confiscated. Liberated. And I kind of want to see if Calico wants to help me out with that, because maybe Calico knows where ships might be before they're going to be there.
Calico will assist. Calico's piles and piles and piles of data on things, places are moving, and where stuff is being stored, and all sorts of that stuff. So yeah, Calico will give you access to that 100%. You've been helping him look at the murder board anyways.
I thought maybe so.
So is this, what, survey?
It's definitely something I don't use as much.
Is it prowl to steal? Is it hunt?
If this is about finding where ships are going to be,
I think it'd be survey.
Calico's notes, survey works.
I think survey is the way to do it, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Let's call it that.
So that gives me 3.
It does.
What kind of prediction die do we have right now? Because I wouldn't mind. I can use one up.
The omens.
It would be very easy for me to do the 2 identical people, so I'm not going to do it. Instead, it's going to be the cry of a hawk precedes blood-stained feathers. The hawk here is a metaphor or a symbol for the ships.
Oh, there's a ship that's called a hawk.
Yes. And then the bloodstained feathers are what we're avoiding. The hawk is what would be taking out the people that we're saving, right? So it's if we don't move these people, we see a hawk coming in, and the feathers are the people that will be taken out.
Sure. So you are going to roll 2 dice then, Marigold.
A 5.
Okay, 1, 5, 3 is a 5. So there you go. You've secured your transport ships. You've got them. Good work. Okay. Anybody want to do anything with this last one? Calico, you're the only one who hasn't bought a new activity yet.
I am kind of at a loss for what to do. Knowing what we know, which is we should spend the last 2 resources we have.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at things, I can't get another drive clock filled. There's just no way.
There is. You could do a collect action and buy your team a bunch more downtime actions.
That's true. Calico's done this before. Yeah, I think Calico maybe just goes on a raid to get us more resources, because just absolutely does not think we're going to be ready. So I have to spend a personnel. I'm going to go raid Hall H, roll dice equal to its wealth rating. Gain supply points equal to the highest die or 9 on a crit. However, since Winter used my last prediction, I have to get a new set of predictions. So let's see how this shakes out. Okay, not great, but
is it better?
Not
6 in there.
Not the worst.
It's a little better.
Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6. That's
better. It's better than the last one.
So you're going to roll 3. Well, you're going to roll 2 dice and add a pool.
Yeah, I'm going to roll 2 and then add a pool. So I'm going to add a 6 and then roll 2 dice. So we're guaranteed
at least 6.
Hey, they're both 5s. So yeah, we get 6 resources. Go take some turns, fellows.
Yes, please. Thank you. I need them.
Calico is gone for a bit. It's just another raiding party, right? Comes back with a bunch of students that he took out on a raid, and it's just under each arm is one of those giant shipping containers that gets set down. And a couple others.
Can one of me be with you?
Yeah, sure. If you sent a body on a raid, fantastic.
Yeah,
I think there's 2 of us with you.
And so there's now just 6 undefined.
Yeah, it's just 6 supply. Right? I mean, I've looked in the book. I don't see anywhere where it says you have to assign it. It just says you get 6 supply.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem right to me. It seems like you would have to pick, but it doesn't say.
They should all be personnel. I mean, we have a lot to do.
we know they're going to be all personnel, right? But Anyway.
I mean, some actions require material to be spent during the action.
That's true. And so I think we leave it undifferentiated for right now.
Yeah, Calico comes back with goodies for everyone. So have at it. Take some actions, folks.
Yeah, take some extra downtime actions, folks. Now who can't fill their drive clocks? There still is going to be no way for everyone to fulfill all of their drives because...
Oh, no. Mine would be 4.
Yeah, yours would be 4. Well, in order for you to fulfill all 4 pilots' drives...
I'm pretty close.
We would need a grand total of 12 drive clops.
Yeah, I'm counting on one of Calico's to help me finish.
Yeah. Right. I'm just saying, from a pure math standpoint, the 4 of you,
you're right.
We cannot complete all four drives, but you could potentially get up to 8 drive clocks between the 2 of you, which would let you do at least 2 people's drives, right? You could do Winter's and Koa's. You could even do Adrian's and one other person's with 8. You know what I mean?
If it wasn't for Koa's baby, I wouldn't be worried about Koa's drive at all. But
that's so diabolical.
I mean, you would never find safety again if Koa's drive doesn't get
I don't care.
fulfilled.
That's not a big deal for me. If I can create a network where people can find safety but I don't get any, that's
yeah. But the most likely outcome is that neither of those things happens, and so you don't keep people safe and you are hunted forever.
Right.
But
yeah,
right now,
so that's why we're pushing.
Right now, we have a grand total of 4 drive clocks between the 4 of you, which would let you fulfill one person's drive, and you would have to decide whose that is.
But we have 6 more personnel.
Yes, we have 6 more personnel. Who wants to do something with that personnel?
I can go next pretty easily.
Sure. What would you like to do?
It's just that my next clock is establishing safe houses. Temporary safe houses while people, transit houses.
Sure.
This is consort again, as usual. It's talking to the people who are we want to help. How can we help? And it's which of you has extra rooms? Which of you has owns a bar with a room upstairs or whatever? Or,
I get it.
Really lucky. Somebody who has a hotel that can set aside 5 rooms or something like that.
Sure.
So those are the kinds of questions we're asking in our network,
Anyone helping you, or are you doing it solo?
Does anybody want to help? I'll put this one out. Does anybody feel a certain way?
I think given Calico helped you with that and then has been with you a lot this downtime, I don't think that Calico's available for this one because at some point he has to be doing his own things.
Sure.
I'm open to, but I don't have an idea.
Mary, do you have any ideas of how Adrian could help out?
Adrian can easily write an algorithm based on capacity of homes and businesses under people's names who are part of my network to establish routes for carrying refugees from one point to another.
Cool. Yeah, just helping out with the logistics.
Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Streamlining the process of matching people with residences.
Absolutely.
Right. Exactly. It's like a swipe left, right thing. Almost. It's not quite like that, but it's very algorithmic.
Give me that 3d6 for that consort.
6.
6 is going to get you 3 ticks.
How big was that clock? I don't.
It's a 6-step clock because I think this is a little more complicated.
Sure.
Portion of it. And so you're halfway there. That's fantastic. All right. Next, I'll offer it to JPG. Anything else you want Koa to do?
Could I fix my Avi now?
You could. You could spend some points on that. You would actually be able to do that with this material point to get a fix activity.
Well, wait. There was somebody who had a level 1, right?
That's Winter, I believe.
Could I gift so we could fix that level 1? So instead of working on my own, I would be working on Winter's.
No, Winter would have to.
No?
Winter would have to take that downtime activity. You could help him. Like in the fiction, you could be helping them make their repairs on their obbies, but that would be, you would be giving Winter a +1 on the engineer roll or whatever.
I don't need to recover. I don't need to schmooze. Could I do anything else to just get us ahead?
For fix, it doesn't say it has to be your vehicle.
Does it not? Let me take a look.
No.
To fix a vehicle, you or squad mate.
Oh, it does. Under the pilot whose vehicle is being repaired spends the downtime activity, not the repairer.
Yes. Oh, man.
So Winter would have to spend it, but you could make the roll.
Right. If your engineer was good. It does cost 2 stress to repair a vehicle if you don't have the workshop upgrade.
Which we don't.
Which I believe you don't.
And my engineer's at a 1.
Correct.
Is there anything else that I can do in order to get us ahead for the next mission?
Acquire assets.
Yeah. If you can think of
an asset,
asset,
let's do it.
That would be useful. Yeah.
Well, we gotta search and rescue for the Goliath, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, you gotta infiltrate and you gotta liaise with the citizens inside.
Okay.
But it's evacuate them.
Oh, to evacuate them. Okay, so we're making a distinction between rescue and evacuate right now.
Well, it's because most of the civilians in there, I believe, are going to be CalazCon attendees. Right?
Okay.
So they may not want to leave because you're going to come in and basically say, hey, we have squads inside of here who are trying to fuck up the scheduled timing of this show. Theoretically, there are safety measures in place that are supposed to be keeping people from getting hurt from watching inside the convention center. But, asterisk, the convention center is rampaging through DFS territory, killing real people, right?
Could I acquire an asset that, accesses, the Goliath's emergency systems? Something that, just forces it to have to follow protocol or something like that. Maybe get a hold of, their emergency procedures or, and then, study through that in order to see, okay, if we can fake this particular disaster.
Let's talk more about, what's the outcome you want?
I want to figure out a way in order to make the Goliath have to expel its people.
It sounds like from what Austin has described in the Goliath documents, that would have to be done by triggering the self-destruct system, which is not y'all's mission. That is the 86's.
Not our mission. Okay.
And we can't, we're not going to interfere with what they're going to, do.
Okay. So then we can think about transport, right? Could we reach back out to the transport that we had before?
Paid promotion to try and get a big ship transport to move all these people? Well, the thing is, the last time you saw Paid, he was being held captive by people at that gala, and I don't think that anyone saved him.
Well, if I understand how capitalism works, there's somebody else.
Yeah, no, you could find a different supplier, and we'll still use promotion because I've already got him on the NPC list. But yeah, you could absolutely acquire an asset. Again, that would cost a material. So let's try and get your ship again. I believe with an acquire asset, what you do is you roll your squad's tier to find out how good the gear is. Is that right?
Roll dice equal to the squad's tier. The asset's quality is determined by the result as follows. 1 to 3 is tier -1. 4 to 5 is tier. 6 tier +1. Crit tier +2. You could spend material to increase that.
Cool. So roll 1d6.
Okay. And then I can only roll 1 die, but we do have some other material inside. We do have the other tokens, right?
You have 5 supply that haven't been specifically called out as material or personnel.
Right,
yet.
So you kind of just want to hope for a 6 and then spend 1 or 2 extra material to bump it up. If you don't get the 6, it's 2.
There's nothing else that I can do to get another die, is there?
Not on an acquire asset other than raising your tier.
Let's do it. And that's a 1.
Oh, buddy.
Oof.
All right. So you get a tier. You don't get that transport you had before. You get a tier 0 transport.
But I can't use the material in order to bump that up.
You can, yes.
You can, but it's not cost effective.
Yes.
At this point, it would be better to take the action again and re-roll.
I would like to do that.
To get a different... you have... The problem is you have this ship now. Like, you have the asset. You acquired the asset. If you roll again to acquire a better ship, then now you have
a tier 0 ship
you have a tier 0 ship and a tier 1 ship or whatever.
What does a tier 0 ship even look like?
I disagree with Lauren that I think it is more cost effective to spend. It's always more cost effective to just spend the material after the fact. Is what I've heard.
Let's spend it. Let's spend it now.
And just get it up to tier 1, and that'll be good
just
enough.
Get it up to tier 1.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, effectively.
Could I spend more than 1?
You could, yes. You could spend 2, but then you would only have 3 resources left for the rest of your group to work with.
Well, I mean, I don't know if, does anybody else have any sort of ideas for this next mission? Like, is there any other, burning things that y'all want to do?
I think Winter's at least going to try and finish their long-term project.
Oh, and how many more did you need then?
Yeah.
It's right here. It's
I need 3 more ticks.
3 ticks up here.
So you need 3 material for that?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If they roll well, they could potentially do it with 1. But if they roll poorly, they will need more.
Like all 4? Potentially?
No. At most 3.
Okay, well, let me use 1 more. and then Mary can use the rest of them.
You have a tier 2 ship now.
Okay, so not as good as last time, but
I was considering trying to grind a 1 more clock, but it's
oh wait,
it's not gonna be.
Devin, I'm sorry. I can take that back, and you can use the 1 there.
Well, I would need at least 2 to start and finish.
Oh shoot! So then
I was all excited that there was 6, and then they got drained immediately. So I'm like, okay, it's fine.
That's why we
communicate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want me to go raid again?
Do you want to not spend those material and have a tier 0 ship?
I don't want to spend the material and just have a tier 0. We're just here's the thing. Paid promotion is real mad that none of us.
That's the thing. Him. It makes sense that he would give you a tier 0 ship in these circumstances. Honestly,
he gives me his 1999 Toyota Corolla of a ship.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
If you want, you can give me 1, and I'll generate 4.
How?
I'll just go raid again
with your sorcery. Your witchcraft?
With your witchcraft?
Yeah. Well, because I can get a guaranteed 4. I've got that roll. I mean, there might still be an entanglement, but I can keep those pretty low with the 2s and 3s. So I could go raid again and generate more resources.
That sounds like an incredible plan. We should do that.
All right. So we take.
Do it.
So we take the
tier 0.
No, you're taking the tier 2 ship and we're collecting again to see if we can get more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I understand the math now.
Calico.
The die goes down again.
Are
so
you
I'm only
rating?
Rolling...
Yeah, are you rating Hall H again?
Yeah, I'm gonna rate Hall H again.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Doesn't it get harder?
And I'm rolling 1 die. Yeah, wait, it doesn't get harder so much as you roll less dice each time, but I can guarantee us a 4.
Got it.
But if this comes up a 1, I get an entanglement.
Correct.
Which, of course, it does.
Oh, God,
and
that's
it's
2 1s in a row.
However, that does get us 4 more material.
Mm-hmm. Your entanglement calculus is different now.
Yep.
Because it's 2, hang on. It's 2 minus your... Oh, sorry, it's 3 minus your squad's relationship level. So you've gone from rolling 2 dice on these to rolling 4 on entanglements. So go ahead and roll me 3d6, and your 4th die is coming from your prediction pool.
Yep. So there's going to be a 2 in there.
Okay.
A 1, a 3, a 5, and a 2. And what table are we on?
Table B. Debriefing. One of your superiors questions your squad. They grill one of your pilots or a cohort. Make a fortune roll using the squad's tier to see how well they resist the pressure. or bribe the person who grabs the person with 1 personnel. So you have to decide now if you want to roll 1d6 or if you want to spend 1 personnel.
So who will? I guess they grill one of your pilots or a cohort. It's got to be me.
It'd be you.
It's got to be. It's got to be me. Let's see how well Calico resists.
Okay, roll 1d6.
Jeez. No, I don't roll a d6 actually.
Oh. What do you get? A 3?
I get a 3.
You take a level 2 harm, which you may resist as normal.
Calico got beat up by our superior officers.
That sounds right, though, actually.
Maybe it's like not that he actually got beat up. I'm gonna take the level 2 harm exhausted.
Got it.
He's been being debriefed for like hours and hours and hours.
You're not resisting it, it sounds like.
No, I'm just gonna take it.
Cool.
Calico's just exhausted.
All right. And then Adrian, what do you got?
I'm starting another long-term project to drum up a resistance on my homeworld. I'm basically relaying all the information about what is happening on Hestial. Or Logel. I forget which one's the planet, which one's the city.
I believe Logel is the planet and Hestial is the city.
Cool. Needless to say, the DFS is probably extremely distracted right now.
Okay, yeah, I would say so.
So it's a perfect time to start striking. Specifically, like start coordinated strikes, considering that the DFS is probably at its weakest at this point.
I see. Okay, so you want to instigate domestic terrorism.
Begin a insurgency.
Sure. Okay. That is going to be a 6-step clock at minimum. I really should make it an 8, but I want you to have a chance of filling it. So.
I don't think I can practically get a 6-step clock done, though.
I think you can. It would theoretically only take 2 actions, or you could get it in 1 if you crit.
I'd have to roll a 6 on both of them. Well,
actually, no, you can't. Even if you crit, you'd only get 5, I think. But you still can. I mean, that's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but now I'm feeling bad for like taking half of these personnel on something that I might not be able to actually finish.
Having drive ticks is what's going to let y'all do your drives.
Yeah.
You could think of something easier that might be a 4-step clock, but I think inspiring a full-on, armed rebellion is. Again, I feel like I'm being generous by making it 6 instead of 8.
I'm thinking.
Sure.
I mean, if we absolutely really want to maximize this, I can just go collect again and get you another 3.
Right. But anyway, let's
quite
guaranteed
silly.
No entanglement.
That's true.
Yeah.
Guaranteed no entanglements and guaranteed 3 supply.
All right.
But yeah, Adrian, what action? I mean, is this a sway? This
it's gotta be
kind of
sway.
like a sway.
I'm basically
right?
just like emailing all of the like council leaders of my commune and like basically sending them all of the like news on what's going on and like giving them information about like DFS systems that they can use to their advantage to start planning this.
That's beautiful. Anybody helping you with this? I assume you're doing this in secret.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 2d6.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay, so you got two ticks.
Okay.
Now, in this case, I do agree. You're probably better off rolling again rather than spending a thing to increase ticks. Do you want to go ahead and just spend another to take another crack at that?
Yep. I'm already lining it up. That's
do it.
That's a 3.
It's a 3. Okay. It's not going well, Adrian. Do you want to try like you could, try one more, but maybe try a different, do you want to find a way you can use interface on it or something? Can you trigger some sort of automated system on Decarabia remotely that causes, the instigation that you're looking for?
Oh yeah. I'm like autonomously like fucking up some DFS systems.
You turn on like a fire suppression system or something, and it like sprays a bunch of people at a public park, and they're like, "What the hell?" Yeah, something like that. All right, so yeah, give us let's get an interface there.
Okay, so the first one was Insurgency ! The second one was Insurgency ! Part 2. Here's Insurgency !
This one's called
Part 3.
The Fast and the Insurgent.
There's a 6.
Tokyo Drift.
That's
All right,
what we
did
needed.
it. You successfully have instigated an armed uprising on your home planet. Hold on, I'm going to put this in the listen, Austin's going to want to know this.
Also, remember that I also leaked all that info at the beginning of the session, too.
There's 4 supplies left. Winter, you want to try and finish up this safe house situation?
Yes, please.
All right. Tell me what action we're speeding through this last one. So tell me what action you want to do and roll it. And also decide if someone's helping. Consort. Anyone helping?
I can help.
All right.
So
Koa's helping, add a die and roll it.
Hey, it's a 4.
That's a 4. Okay, you got 2 more ticks on there. So if we just spend 1 more, it just finishes. Yeah. So there we go.
Let's do it.
All right. What do we want to do with these last 2 points? Keep them in the bank in case you need to do a flashback downtime action, or what?
Oh, flashback downtime
keeping
sounds interesting.
Keeping in the bank would be great, right?
Do you want to do it 1 and 1, or do you want to do both personnel?
You know what? If we're going to keep them in the bank, here's what I'll do. Calico's going to spend 1, I'm going to go raid again and turn that 2 into 4, and then we can have 2 and 2.
Love it.
Are you just flying around blowing shit up? Like
Calico is the scourge of Hall H, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
I love that we are a
I
consulate
was
squad.
right the whole time, bitches.
So yeah, I think you're right. Calico is flying around blowing stuff up, and at this point is just absolutely raiding for supplies.
Are we still employed?
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited and sound balanced by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at CVBlight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.